I've played Monster Hunter World for just over 1,100 hours on Steam alone, and I know that isn't a lot compared to a lot of people out there that have 5, 10k plus, but I thought, why not do a little video where I talk about my top 10 favourite monsters in Monster Hunter World. So, let's get into it. Kuliyaku. I just love him. He's a basic little raptor dude that scavenges for eggs, like the little raptor he is, with his little hands grabbing them. But when you're fighting him, he uses rocks, he picks up pots. I just love that for him. He's just so cool. I mean, I know he's really basic, but like compared to previous games, his raptor type is so much more unique and so much cooler. Because like, you know, previous games we got like, you know, Geodrome, Blistodrome, Great Jaggy, Great Baggy, all those sorts of monsters. They're very basic. But with Kuliyaku, he's just a cool type of raptor. And I really do love what they did with him. I mean, he's, as I said, he's so basic, but I just love the fact that he digs stuff up. It's quite cute, to be honest. Watching him dig up a little pot and holding it, I honestly feel so bad. Like, you know when you hit him and he drops it? That makes me feel so bad, because like, the little surprise on his face and the little jump back that he does, I just feel so bad for him when I break the pots or whatever, or the rock that he's holding, because it's like his special little item. He's like a cute little dude just with his special little thing, and I'm there destroying him and making him break it. Oh, I feel bad about that sometimes. A Dogeron. Now, the funny thing is, I don't really actually enjoy a Dogeron that much, so it's kind of funny that it's in this video, but I do enjoy him. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, I love his concept and what he is, and I love him for the reason that I hate him, if that makes any sense at all. So, I hate him because he's so fast and annoying, and I love him because of that exact reason. I think it is, I love him because I actually find him quite challenging to fight, and a lot of monsters in Monster Hunter games are a bit too easy a lot of the time. So having that challenge, it annoys me, but I love that it annoys me because the challenge is amazing. And he just looks so cool, like the red, oh my god, I just love the way he looks. And his claws, like how he has the claws and then the claws on top of that. Then he does bleed damage, and it's so annoying to, like, if you don't have the Astera jerky, you have to crouch down, but he's so insanely fast, you barely get an opportunity to crouch down. Oh my god, he's just so insane, and I hate and love him for that exact reason. Dodogama. Now, do I have to say much about Dodogama? He's just a chill guy. I just love Dodo. I feel bad every time I fight him, but I love him. I mean, he's a big lizard, basically. Big blue lizard that just wants to eat rocks. He just wants to chill, and I'm out here killing him. I feel bad about it. It's the same with like Kuliyaku. Like, it's the same sort of thing. He's just a cute monster, and I feel bad about fighting him. And at the same time, like, I kind of like fighting him because I like his like rock stuff, and then like how he spits it out. But when he gets like the big what is it, like, you know when he gets big and you can hit him and he like kind of explodes or whatever? I do like that. It's cool. He's a very easy, you know, very easy monster, but I like him because he's cute, basically. Raging Brachydios. Now, I really like this dude. I never actually, no, actually I think I fought Raging in, was he in GU or was that in, I don't know. I remember fighting him back in those games, but World was like my proper first experience fighting him. Because like I did fight him back then, but this was like, I wasn't really, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, I really like him in World. He is a bit too easy, to be honest, especially in his last phase, because most of the environment, like, you know when he's punching the ground and there's like the lava spurting everywhere in that last stage, I feel like you should get way more damage. So you're not getting enough damage in that area, in my opinion. But I love him. He's giant, his nice slimy fists punching you, and then it's like, oh, he's just so cool. I mean, it's the same with like normal Bracky, but Raging Bracky's just like normal Bracky on steroids in a good way. I just find him so cool, and I love the whole, I mean, obviously he's been in previous games, but specifically in World, I love the whole slime mechanic in general. It's just so nice. Oh, I just love him. He's looks so awesome, like the blue and the green. Like, it's kind of like a clashing color, and I love that. And like, you know, when the slime's red and yellowish, oh, he's just so cool. I do wish that they made his fight a bit harder though, to be honest. Basil. Now, I'm only saying Basil because I love both of them. They're both sort of the same thing, but I do specifically love Basil from base game more so than the other Basil. I actually can't remember his name, to be honest. The reason for that is, it's just like in base game, Basil just comes in and destroys your so often. Like, you're just, you're fighting, I don't know, some other monster. I can't think of an example. You're fighting something, and then you just hear, like, you just hear his theme, and he just flies in and just drops bombs everywhere. Oh, it's so cool. I really like those type of monsters. Like, obviously, the previous games have had the same sort of thing, but I love the invader monsters. Invader monsters are so much fun, and they're scary half the time. But it's fun because, like, you're fighting this monster, and you don't even notice until it's too late 80% of the time. Like, you're fighting an Oregon in World, and suddenly you just, like, this shadow just goes over, and there's this little bomb pods dropping everywhere, and then they all explode, and then Basil comes and dives in. Oh, I love him. I hope they bring him into future games. He's just such a cool monster. Kolv Taroth. Now, I'm picking Kolv Taroth mainly for the concept of Kolv Taroth and the design of him, her. She just looks really cool. I love the whole, like, gold thing. It's so nice. I like the fight for the most part, but I feel like they probably could do, they could change it up a bit in the future. But in World, I really do I like the end stage fight more so than the start fight. But the whole, like, gold, and it's just a really cool monster. It's like it's like a giant lizard with a gold cape on, and I love the curly horns. Like, the curly horns look so cool. And obviously the gear looks amazing. Like, don't get me started on the gear. I do hate the grind for the weapons. That I didn't like that too much. I mean, it was fun because you get to fight it over and over and over. But just, like, the fight itself is quite fun. And it's just a cool monster basically. I don't really have too much to say about Kolv, just because it's just a cool monster basically. I like the gold. It looks cool. That's it. Elatrion. So, I really like World's Elatrion. I like the fact that it has more stability in its, like, elemental change compared to the previous games. And I actually love it for the reason a lot of people hated it. I loved it because it was hard. Because to me, when I was playing World, Iceborne, etc., the only challenging monster was Elatrion and Fatalis. Before that, like, there were obviously monsters where I had issues with, and a little bit of a challenge. But, like, you might fail once, and then you go in the second time, you hunt it, and it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. But with Elatrion, I can't remember exactly how long it took me, but it, like, even in a group, it took us quite a lot of tries, and then when I did it solo, I actually found it easier solo, by the way, which is kind of funny. But, like, getting that elemental DPS check and, like, all of those checks, like, happening in time was so hard to do that it took me quite a long time. And I know a lot of people didn't like the elemental DPS check and all that sort of stuff, but that's one thing that I loved about it. Like, I like that sort of things. I like that sort of thing in Monster Hunter, because without that, he would be too easy. It would just be another monster. Like, if he didn't have the one-hit kill move that you had to obviously hit the elemental check with, imagine how easy he would be. It'd just be, oh, okay, he's just doing a move, okay, I'll just, just heal through it, that's all good. And then you just fight him again. Like, to me, it would be too easy without that. And that's one of the things I love about him, the fact that he was a challenge. And I know it was a bit of a surprise for 5th geners, people that hadn't played the games before, considering every monster before Elatrion was pretty chill for the most part. So I do understand why a lot of people complained about him. But I just loved him. I loved the fact that he had the elemental check and all of that sort of check, because it made it hard, it made it a challenge. And I hope they don't feel dissuaded to do that in the future due to World's perception with Elatrion. I hope that they don't, like, not do that in the future, because I like it. It makes things hard, and Elatrion is just, I mean, he's got an amazing design, but I love the difficulty. I play Monster Hunter for difficulty, so I love it. Fatalis. Now, seriously, this is the best Fatalis I've ever fought. I've fought Fatalis in Freedom Unite and the other future games. I can't remember which one that also fought him in. But in all those older games, his fight's usually quite boring. Like, it's just a generic dragon that does a lot of damage, basically. But in World, they gave him a whole entire, like, thing. Like, he had so many custom moves. He was so hard. Like this, the whole entire thing about him was like a spectacle. It wasn't just, oh, I'm fighting a hard dragon like the old games pretty much are. In this, it was like, oh my god, I am fighting the god of the world. I am fighting the hardest thing possible, and god damn, it does a lot of damage, but not in a gimmicky way. Because like in Freedom Unite, when you'd fight Black Fatalis, normal Fatalis, if he was on the ground and his tail hit you when he was walking, it was just an instant kill. Like, okay, that's boring. But in this, his moves do a lot of damage, of course, but it's fair damage for like how big the attack is, if you get what I mean. And I actually really love the fights like mechanic, like, you know how you have to go behind the gate and all that sort of stuff. And if you break his it was his head, wasn't it? I haven't fought him in quite a while, so I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure if you break his head or his horns or something along those lines, like some of his moves are weaker or something along those. I can't remember fully. But I do love that you could cheese him a bit, like with the cannon strat and all that sort of stuff at the start of the quest. That was just made like, that's pretty much like speedrun strat. But I loved his fight, and when I played it with my friends, we struggled quite a lot. I think we did eventually hunt it in a group. I can't remember fully. I went back and hunted it solo a couple times, because like in Monster Hunter, I like to prove that I can hunt the monster by doing it solo at least once. So I went back and did it solo. And god, he was hard. Like, he has such an insane amount of health and he does so much damage, but that's what is so satisfying about it, because he's so strong that when you finally take him down, oh my god, that feeling. Do you guys know it? Like, if you fought Fatalis in World, you know exactly what I'm meaning. It is such a satisfying feeling to finally take down Fatalis. It is just, oh, it's euphoria. And of course, in the older games, I'm not sure about all the old games, but in Freedom Unite at least, you could repel them. In this, you have 30 minutes to hunt a Fatalis, no repels. It is insanely stressful. And like, I remember I was literally shaking while fighting him, like with adrenaline. And then when I finally hunted, like when I finally completed him, that was just such a good feeling, and I was shaking like crazy. Namielle. So I've picked Namielle for this spot. I just love Namielle's design. I feel like in World Iceborne, it is one of the most, if not the most, unique looking monster. It's just like, you know, the whole tentacles, the little like lights on its tentacles, the water system. It's just so damn cool. I really love it. Like when I first fought Namielle, like I remember fighting Namielle. I heard a few things about Namielle being really cool before I fought her. But when I first fought her, it was just such a cool design. I am a bit disappointed. She was relatively easy. But you know, you can't expect every monster to be, you know, Fatalis tier. But just like the colors, the water, the electricity, just it's just such a cool monster. Like, do you guys know what I mean? I don't know even how to describe it. It was just the colors. It's so amazing. I really do love Namielle. It's such a cool monster. And here we are, guys. The #1 spot, Shar Ishvalda. Now, there is this little stipulation. I don't really care for Shar in the full like Rocky mode, because you know he's a bit boring in that mode. But when he, she, whatever it is, breaks out of that, and you watch the wings spread, the little like finger things pop out, like the whole entire eyes are creepy as hell as well, might I add. But I just love the fight, and like the whole thing that it uses like wind, and it can like control the rocks with like, I don't even know what it is, like the stuff, like it's just such a cool monster. And don't get me started on the soundtrack. Oh my god, that is probably one of my, if not my favorite Monster Hunter soundtrack of all time. I remember when I first saw Shar Ishvalda, like when I first fought it, I was like, Rocky Monster, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But then like when it breaks out of the rocks and you see it for what it actually is, oh, I remember getting shivers, and especially the soundtrack going along with it. It's just so amazing. Shar Ishvalda is such a unique, cool monster that I don't think they will bring it into many, if any, future games. But it's a monster that I'll probably go back to World for in years to play again, and just listen to that soundtrack and just feel it all over again. I mean, the whole like eye tracking thing as well, where it like, you know, looks at the player, actually looks at the camera, but you know what I mean. It's so creepy. It's just like it's like an unusual monster, and I love that unusualness to it. Like, do you guys know what I mean? It's like unusual, and I love that about her. There we go, guys. That's my Monster Hunter World Top Monsters video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to join the channel as a member, you can. I'll show up on screen now the 2 members we have, Xander and Jaggy. Thank you both very much. And it's almost Wilds times, guys. And yeah, so I really do hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know what your top monsters are in Monster Hunter World. What is your favorite monster in World? And what do you think of my favorites? Do you think some of them are trash? Do you think some of them are good? Let me know. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. See ya.